Welcome back to the channel, guys. I have got a special treat for you all today. A little break from the COVID-19 malarkey. Many of you have been asking me to continue with the review of New Agers, which I was doing quite nicely before all this scamdemic hit. So I thought, why not go back to it for a while, give people a break. And really, it's still valid and important as it always has been, because many people right now are looking at false spiritual teachings and New Age deceptions in order to look at solutions of the issues that we face. And basically what it's doing is putting many people back into a cul-de-sac. And so I've got two in one today. I've got our friend Eckhart Tolle again, or Eckhart Tolle, that little reptilian-looking guy. Not really sure how you pronounce his surname, that weird guy. And an old nemesis in Russell Brand. Russell Brand has been on my radar for a long time. A few years ago, he started getting involved quite a lot with the truth movement. He's still there now, but he's gone on to this like spiritual kind of narrative, or phony spiritual narrative. And of course, he gets a lot of people hooked in. He's got quite a lot of charisma. And when you look at him as a character, just looking at him now, he's got that kind of archetypal Jesus look, the beard, the long hair. This is all by design, you know. The guy's a blatant shill. He actually wrote a book not quite a few years ago, about 5 or 6 years ago, actually called The Pied Piper. And if you're not familiar with that story, it basically talks about how a load of rats followed someone who was singing a tune, and they all ended up dying. And that's very much been his role, but he was called out quite a few years ago, and he sort of went back underground, and now he's sort of appeared again. He's also got the 33 there on the wrist. You can't actually quite see it. There it is. But yeah, there's a lot about him. The eyes as well, we'll see through as we go through this. Just the eyes to me are the windows of the soul. The guy looks a little bit psychotic. He's kind of got those maniac looking eyes. And something's very off about his energy, just my personal opinion. And of course, he's promoting all the NWO puppets, as we will see. So we're going to call him out, and we're going to call out some of his favourite Eckhart Tolle quotes, and we're just going to debunk that as we go through. Guys, if you're new to the channel, please consider liking, subscribing, all that jazz. And let's get into it. So here we go, Russell.
There are some great spiritual teachers out there at the moment. My man
Muji, the one that's been accused of using and abusing women, basically getting people to kiss his feet. I've done a video on him before. You can look that up. Basically running a cult from Portugal.
Tony Robbins, Marianne Williamson, imagine.
Look at the eyes.
Where she's on her way to the great Amma. But today, a wonderful Deepak. But
of course.
Today, I would like to focus on Eckhart Tolle and some of his quotes, not least because there's this video of Eckhart Tolle saying this about me.
Russell Brand has come a long way with it. He's doing great things now. If anybody who hasn't seen him for a long time should see him again. He met with Candace Owens.
Oh, I saw it.
And it's actually pretty incredible. They had an interview.
I mean, if this guy doesn't give off creepy vibes, I don't know who does. I mean, look at him. It's kind of like a mixture between a frog, a reptile, definitely something completely off with him. And of course, they're all scratching each other's back, all these mainstream spiritual gurus. He's now kissing Russell's ass here.
He's on the left, she's on the right. They had in many ways opposing opposite viewpoints, respected each other as human beings without making the other into an enemy. That is a wonderful stuff. If they can do it.
Yeah, you've got to respect everyone. Never judge anything. Never judge anything that's bad. Just love everyone and just let tyranny run wild.
it. Why can other people not do it? It just requires a little bit of awareness.
Here are some things that I'm well into of Eckhart Tolle's. Check out some of these quotes. Remember, I've spoken to Eckhart Tolle on the phone before because I was interviewing him for a book I was writing. Then I kept his phone number.
Was that the Pied Piper?
Which certainly tested Eckhart Tolle's ability to remain sanguine and peaceful in the face of irritation. Here are some interesting quotes. Sometimes letting go of things is an act of far greater power than defending or hanging on. It's quite hard, isn't it, to let go? Don't you think, when you find that sort of tenacious pang in your guts, that visceral urge to continue with confidence?
Okay, so letting go. Let's talk about this. This one is parroted constantly within the New Age. Just forgive, just let go. You know, it just ignore things that need to be dealt with. You know, what he's talking about there is feelings coming up and just letting them go. We have feelings and emotions for a reason. They're our indicators in life. So if you feel the emotion of guilt, maybe you need to apologize. If you feel the emotion of anger, maybe there is some unjust situation that you need to act upon. And so what we see within New Age circles is this constant promotion of just let go, just accept, just forgive. And of course, you can see how this plays into a tyrannical regime that wants to control and dominate, because it doesn't want people to get angry. It doesn't want people to feel the emotions, the natural emotions that it's causing in people, so they may, God forbid, act upon them. So this whole wishy-washy, let go, never do anything. Of course, there's things in life in general that we cannot control and we cannot change. They're the things that we need to let go of. The things that we can change, we absolutely must attempt to change. And this is where the deception lies, because it's knowing the wisdom of when to let go and when to actually act upon your emotions. You can't just go through life ignoring your emotions or papering over things that are coming up for you, because you're going to go and you're going to suffer more and more, and it's going to act out in different habits, different behaviors, which is exactly what the New Age agenda wants.
Sometimes I realise that what I really need is not to defeat my imagined opponent in this situation, but defeat the aspect of me that's attacked.
Again, defeat the opponent. It's all tying into what I said before. Standing down when you're faced with tyranny. What he's talking about is, you know, just basically standing down in terms of if there is something or someone that is causing you harm or making you feel bad or abusing, you know, just forgive, just let go. More of the same passive bullshit.
Attached to it. A simpler example is when I'm stuck in traffic, it's more important that I learn to overcome the feeling of impatience, intolerance and anger while stuck in traffic than it is to get where I'm going.
Yeah, exactly. They're things that you can't change. You can't change the flow of the traffic. So at that point, that's when it's a good idea to let go. But the general theme with a lot of these New Agers and mainstream New Agers is to just let go of everything.
You know me, I'm someone that will drive up on a verge, going around the back streets, back doubles, get out, abandon the car, run across roofs, trying to get to where I'm going like Crocodile Dundee. But it's more important to just go, oh, I'm going to arrive at this place when I
mean, to me, those eyes, it looks like some kind of possession going on there. Just watch his eyes as we go through this. It's really kind of weird, kind of disturbing. Very, very interesting to observe, actually.
I'm intended to arrive at this place. Not easy to achieve those states. If you get the inside right, the outside will fall into place. I think that's true also, that we continually try to manipulate our external realities, control others, maybe a partner or a spouse, like they're gaslighting phenomenon, much more spoken of these days, where you think, like where you unconsciously, I would argue, try to manipulate and control the person that you're with because you see them as the resource for your happiness, your peace, and somehow responsible for your emotional state. Far better to instead deal with whatever it is in you that needs to be let go of.
again, truth mixed with lies. There is an element of truth in that, in terms of our internal world is very much a reflection of the external. But again, just allowing people to behave how they want to behave. For example, if you were getting beaten by a spouse, you would do something about it. You wouldn't just kind of sit there and internalize it all. And again, we see the same thing playing out with what's happening on a collective scale. We're under attack, and if it was down to Russell Brand and co, we would just sit there, internalize everything, sit back, and just allow. And this is the dump in the punch bowl.
What needs to be soothed or needs to be understood. Or another example within the same field, instead of trying to pursue wealth and approval, understand what is it in you that feels that it is not nourished? What is it in you that needs an external validation? Someone taught me, one of my mentors the other day, that he said envy, Russell, is just you projecting your potential onto somebody else.
Another deception. There are actually bad people out there. There are bad people that are doing bad things in the world. It's not all a projection. It's not all coming from you. Again, he's just basically, the underlying message is that, tyrannical people or psychopaths, narcissists, those kind of things, or those kind of people is just a reflection of kind of our inner world, and we shouldn't just do anything to kind of stop them or, stand in their way from continuing what they're doing.
That's good, isn't it? So if I'm envious of someone, they're doing well, why can't I be more like them? It's my unrealised potential being projected onto them. So instead of being envious, think instead, what is it that I'm not doing that I want to be doing? The primary cause for unhappiness is never the situation, but your thoughts about it. Difficult to argue with that, dear Eckhart.
No, it's not difficult to argue with that. Sometimes our situation sucks from outside forces, and just blaming yourself again for our current situation of slavery, for example, and just internalizing that and making it all about your own internal manifestations of things. Again, it's just spiritual bypassing is what he's teaching there.
Anything you resent and strongly react to in another is also in you. Oh God. How does that transfer, do you reckon, a quote like that, to politics? Like when we all feel agitated by what's happening politically, we feel like oppressed and detached. What does that mean? I suppose it means that we ourselves are detached from who we really are.
Oh, and there we go. He's just literally clarified everything that I've been saying. He's basically saying that if politicians and government act like complete arseholes, then it's our fault. Okay? It's all down to us, and it's all our projections. Nothing to do with the fact that they're actually psychopaths and they are doing horrible things. It's all our fault. And so what do we need to do? We just need to allow them to carry on doing what they're doing, and we'll just sit under a tree and meditate. Nice one, Russell. We see through your bullshit. Lovely picture of the eyes there. Look, almost black slits.
That we're believing in transient, illusory aspects of the self. We are believing that...
He's got a very hypnotic vibe, He's got a very kind of... It's almost spell casting there when he's speaking, and I've seen this, and particularly, and the ladies out there are not going to like this, but particularly with women, there was a time where I could not say anything about the guy. A lot of women would give me huge backlash and tell me I was jealous and all this kind of stuff. Because, let's face it, he's a good-looking guy. He's got the archetypal Jesus look. I get it. And he's got that very hypnotic way about him. And almost puts people under an amnesic spell, but very, very crafty, very clever, because he explains things in a very kind of love and light spiritual way. But there are some very, very dark and deep deceptions in what he's saying, which will put people into a cul-de-sac.
In our own desires. Continually, I make that mistake. If I get this new West Ham top, I will feel complete. You'll feel like a complete... No, I'm joking. I do like this West Ham top. I love it. I'm very grateful to the people that gave it to me. Kiss the badge. Hey, thank you for tuning in to watch me on your phones. I really, really appreciate it. I speak to people, of course, and I recognise that some of you feel real lonely and real sad and not good enough. I've been told that watching these videos helps you to feel better, but it helps me feel better and all. So we're helping each other right now.
Just comes across really ingenuous. Just feels like he's just saying that. There's no kind of heart or warmth from him when he talks. Also need to add that this guy played the child catcher in the 2012 Olympic opening ceremony in London. I think it was 2012. I think so, yeah. You can Google that. So that tells us a lot about where Russell's mind is and who he works for. It's a very strange role that you would want to play or agree to play.
Living up to an image that you have of yourself or that other people have of you is inauthentic living. Oh, we get trapped, don't we? Eckhart's good value. What a liberation to realise that the voice in my head is not who I am. Who am I then? The one who sees that. Let's do it as Eckhart Tolle. What?
Yeah, never listen to the voices in your head. It's all your ego. This is a massive deception that you hear the likes of Muji talk about as well as Eckhart, is the fact that if you have thoughts that maybe you need to act upon, and don't get me wrong, there are a lot of thoughts that are inorganic. I talk to them, I speak about them a lot on this channel. Entities can interfere, and they have technologies, stuff that I do around sessions. There can be interference, but often we have thoughts for a reason. We're also streaming consciousness as well, and some of those thoughts need to be listened to and need to be acted upon. But what happens, particularly when you question, especially the likes of Muji, anyone that questions what he says, he automatically says that they're stuck in the mind. So the mind and the ego is very much demonized in the New Age. I've said before, we need an ego. We need a healthy ego to operate in this reality. We have to have that. Being stuck in ego is a completely different ballgame altogether. But to just not have an ego would mean that everyone thinks the same, acts the same. There would be no art. There would be no creativity. And we would all be like wet lettuces like Eckhart Tolle, and the world would be very boring.
What a liberation to realise that the voice in my head is not who I am. Who am I then? The one who sees that. He's right though, isn't he, old Eckhart? Like, aren't you sometimes on a walk or in a car and you think, I'm continually locked in an inner narrative loop? When will I just be in the moment? When will I just be present as who I am? It creates a kind of intensity.
My God, it's so hard to watch this. Does anyone feel like he's putting a spell on you when he's talking? I mean, God, it's really really powerful. There's some kind of NLP going on there. Let me know in the comments below, guys, because is this just me or what?
I'm going to be doing it a lot more. If you're not living in this moment, you are not really living. Yeah, let's not live in the past.
Well, that's true.
Let's take a deep breath and feel the feelings around us.
Creepy vibes.
Be aware that we're watching a thing on a phone. That we have more opportunities and options than we dare to imagine.
See, all these New Agers, they all speak very softly, softly. You are going to sleep. You are feeling sleepy. Listen to me. Stay passive. Never feel anything. Never think anything. I lived in Brighton for a very short time when I was in the UK once. Brighton is a very new age place, and there was a reason why I didn't live there for long. Several reasons actually, but I remember one day I went out and I met some new age spiritual healers, and I remember I was talking to them, and it was like the lights were on, but no one was home. It was so bizarre, just completely emasculated men, just completely under the new age Kool-Aid spell.
Power over others is weakness disguised as strength. Let's not oppress anybody else. People don't realise that now is all there ever is. There is no past or future except just memory or anticipation in your mind. Thanks, Eckhart. Discontent, blaming, complaining, self-pity cannot serve as a foundation for a good future, no matter how much.
Yeah, never be fucking discontented about everything, hey? You know, never get discontented about the fact that there's children being trafficked, that there's poison in our food, air, water. You know, never get discontented about any of that. Never feel any of that. Never feel any of that is wrong.
Much effort you make. I'm going to stop all of that. Thanks, Eckhart.
Good.
Wouldn't it be good if you could just program that directly into your brain and then live?
Funny how his YouTube channel never gets deleted or wiped off, or, you know, all these big names, they're always still there, aren't they? It's funny that.
In accordance with it forever. The best I can manage is to have some kind of loose tethering to the memory of these teachings when once again a state resumes of disorientating desire or fear or anger.
Never get angry. That's the other one. Never get angry about anything. Bullshit. There's things in life you need to get angry about. Righteous anger is a hugely powerful energy. Transmutive. Complete deception. Oh my God, look at that. Looks like he's shape-shifting. He does support West Ham though, to be fair. It's about the only thing that I like about him.
Have to become accustomed to being connected to the moment more. The more I become accustomed to it, the more I'm able to say, oh look, I'm about to get fearful or jealous or lustful or anxious. I'm able to avoid it, or at least observe it, and not, as Muji says, combine with the anxiety or combine with the fear.
Yeah, Muji's in the moment. Muji's in the moment thinking about women all the time and how he can abuse and use them.
Or combine with the anger. We will be doing more of these videos on great teachers in philosophy and spirituality. If there's anyone else you'd like to see covered from anywhere across the political and philosophical spectrum, let us know below. Don't mean on my abdomen, don't be cheeky, just let us know when you can.
Oh, his grin, it's freaky.
And come on, you Irons. Come on, all of your football teams, because I believe in the ultimate oneness. Thank you.
So guys, as we see, this is why the New Age and these pseudo-spiritual teachings are so clever. It's because they mix truth with lies, obfuscation of truth. And the way it's put out there, the way it's paleted on a plate for people is so gentle and soft, and, you know, he comes across, if you have no discernment, as a kind of like a very spiritual, caring kind of guy, but once you engage that discernment, you can see right through him. And it is such a trap, and many people get caught up in it, and which is why I'm going to continue to do these videos, because there are deceptions within deceptions within deceptions within deceptions, and this false religion, this New Age spiritual scene is one of the biggest out there right now. So guys, I hope you enjoyed the video, and please like, share, comment what do you think below, and I'm going to do some more of these, take our minds off of everything. So I'll see you on the next one. Take it easy, guys.